as law enforcement officer. Of recent, we noticed on so many occasions that only few of the motorcyclists who are really incorrespondent, they are responding to the regulation, and then you found few who end up refusing to do that registration, waiting for somewhere around after the hour, they call it after the hour where you are not to arrest.
So the insurance, and I see it necessary for us, because it's not necessary for us. Why we have to take first class insurance, finish paying a lot of money, and then I break, that's a cabin fee mirror, where I think just sit down and say one day I say, oh, let me call the insurance company to just hear from the one say. You call the insurance company, say, take control, we recatch you back, we pay your money back, you just take control of it, and then we pay you back.
And for me, I have not yet done my process, but hopefully I will do my process. And I'm following every necessary measures to get my process being done.
And it's a pleasant welcome, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you join us. I'd like to welcome you to another edition of the program, or INSAH, a TV show brought to you by Heritage TV Liberia. And I'm your regular host, Mohammed M. Kemukai. And today we are coming live and direct outside the nation's capital, somewhere right around Liberia Revenue Authority, to bring you a response from motorcyclists as it relates to the regulation made by the government. That's the Joseph Yiman Boaka and Jeremiah Pankun government made on motorcyclists here in Liberia. I remember the government came out with a regulation that if you apply in the main street as a motorcyclist, you must be fully registered and have on helmet and be fully protected as a motorcyclist. So we are here today to question the motorcyclists. How are they coping with the regulation from the government? But before we go to take a short break, or before we bring you response from motorcyclists, as you can see, they are packed in there and they are all here taking passengers to go within the community, but we can see them plying the main street. But we're going to take a short break to be right back with your favorite TV program with INSAH Liberia. But before I take a short break, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. It's a pleasant welcome back to your favorite TV program with INSAH, a TV show brought to you by Heritage TV Liberia. And we have our first guest here. Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Welcome to Heritage TV Liberia.
Thank you.
Your name?
I'm Asex Flomo, J. Ase Flomo.
J. Ase Flomo. So J. Ase Flomo, to the point, the government made a regulation on no-go zone. How is it for you guys here in Painesville?
For us in Painesville, the no-go zone is very tough because we have some of our guys who live in Painesville, sometimes go to town, they are renting, at least when they leave the region and go to town. We who reside in Painesville too, we can get a little chance, at least to hustle around and get little things. But everybody from town, everybody waits in Painesville, and Painesville is very little. Streets are not built in Painesville that people will be able to go and ride around, get money. So it's very sad because everybody wasting in Painesville.
Talking about everyone wasting in Painesville and you guys are not applying the main street, but the government came up with a regulation that says you guys should be fully registered and have on helmet and have on safety boots. How is it for you guys to get the registration at the transport ministry?
Yeah, so to all that process for me it is fine. But if you get to transport, to really get your process is another thing too. Because they will tell you that plate is sold for 25 to transport. I mean the government price. But if you get to transport to your registration, someone will tell you, give me 30, give me 40, you need to pay that money before you get your plate.
So it means that corruption is being in the place?
Very, very hard there in that place. The exact money that government came up with, that it should be paid for plate or for even your how they call it, lesson or even insurance. It's not the exact money you will pay. You will be demanded to pay additional money attached to it before you get your materials and be able to fly in the streets.
So looking at the corruption aspect you're talking about at the Ministry of Transport, what do you have to say on this issue there?
It's very difficult to say something because if government coming out to me as a cyclist, I should do my registration. as I get to transport, do my process, it should be direct. My process should be direct. If you're telling me to pay 25, I should pay my 25 and get my equipment, get in the street, look for what I need to look for.
So before we take a leave of you, what your final message is?
The message is just like what we were saying, that the government should be able to put this in place. If you get to transport, you should pay the exact money that they need for all to pay. We're willing to use the materials and get in the streets because this is the place that we live. This is how we get our surviving from. So we need to go by the rules and regulations of government. But if you get to transport, it's not easy. Government need to look into it. It's very difficult.
We are here with Ivan Gemo and Emmanuel Davis. Both of them are motorcyclists here in Painesville. So let me start with Gemo. How is it like for you guys to meet up with the process being made by the government? That is the regulation that you guys shouldn't ply the main street if you guys are not fully registered.
First, the time they call to complex that time, they say they give out 3 more, but the 3 more people say not read. They start stopping off on the road, and now where will take money from the rest? Real screening or yeah, we can like no go some real screening or we go rent as some more and get money right back for people there.
Were you actually making more money when you ply the main street as compared to riding within the Painesville?
Yeah.
And then looking at the registration process, have you been to Transport Ministry to inquire on the registration process?
Yeah.
How is it like out there?
Some people paying 150, 160.
150, 160.
Yeah.
But is it actually smooth in order for you to get all your items in tight, or there is any fine being played, the correction, you have to get 1 or 2 cents before you get your process?
Yeah. When you go there, you have to pass through somebody. And so now when you do it, so now 1 week, 2 weeks before they get you your things.
All right, then we'll come in, let me hold you, let me ask Davis. Davis, how is it like for you since you've been riding a motorbike here in Liberia? How the process is like for you?
Now, as I'm speaking, the process is very difficult because we have a use of our motorbike, and now the president passed a law that we shouldn't ride on the main street. So we're feeling the difficulties. We're feeling the difficulty because we pass through a lot of constraints. And motorcyclists, the motorcyclists survive on back. We are back for to sustain our families and ourselves. Some of us we are self-employment, living on our own, no family members around us, and that back will survive from. So if we put a stop to all, not to ride on the main street, and the main streets is very capable to ride on because you ride on the main street, you can get good percentage, or every day you make good money for yourself. Then ride in the community, because when we ride in the community, we are very enough to ride in the community, and we're not earning nothing good. Now everybody going through a lot of constraints.
Have you met up with all that requirement and then policemen stop you from riding on the main street?
Yes.
Have you?
Because when you have all that thing and one item left behind, they will still put stop to you.
So, Davis, are you riding for yourself or are you riding for someone?
I'm riding for myself.
Riding for yourself. Okay, Gemo, what's your final message out there to the government? Because you were talking about the time issues, that the time was very limited and the government started coming down. What's your message out there to the government?
If we can help ourselves, someone at 1 more, 2 more will be happy to look for our money to register our back.
Okay, thanks so kindly. That was the voice of Gemo, and let me take David's final message. David, what's your final message before I leave as it relates to this process made by the government here?
Asking the government to give our leaks 1 month so we can farmers to get our proper document to hustle. Because like only job we see like making to sustain ourselves in life.
All right, that was the voice of Davis here calling on the government in order to give them time for them to register, because this is the only way they are surviving here in Liberia. And it's not an easy thing to just take out a man's breath from his mouth. It's not an easy thing. So the process is that they are calling on the government in order for the government to give them more time. They are crying on the time. The time issues of registration is one thing they are looking at. So I have another guy here who is also a motorcycle. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Chief.
Welcome to Heritage TV Liberia.
Thank you.
Your name?
My name is Lola Kwanukwane Jackson David.
Come on. I beg you. Calm down with the name small. I need to get the name. I'll call that name again.
My name is Loila Kwane Jackson David.
So I will take the Davis. I will take the Davis. No problem. David. Okay. So I'll take the David. David, looking at the process here, the regulation made by the government as it relates to the no-go zone, without you meeting the full requirement. How is it like for you guys there in Pinsville?
Well, the issue of the no-go zone policy, people may term it, but one thing we should know that the government didn't prevent us from riding or plotting the main road, but there were requirements set up. Register your bike, get it insured, get your 2 helmets, and then follow the rule not to ride 2 passengers on a single bike. But most people, like most of our colleagues, they will complain on the time frame how the action of government was, and it was an abrupt action. But for me, I don't see a negative, because all the policies that are put in place, it is for our own safety, especially where government talk about wearing safety gear, wearing your helmet. I mean, that's a welcoming step. Or as we are approaching, we are in a new era, we are in the modern day. Things are advancing. So we Liberians, we go up and say, they say when you enter Ghana, when you enter this, people cannot do their own. But we Liberians don't want to practice what we see out there. So this action from government is welcoming. I welcome the idea, but it's just like, for me, I have not yet done my process, but hopefully I will do my process. And I'm following every necessary measures to get my process being done.
Let us look at, first, you were running on the main street, and I guess you were making more, right?
Sure.
So how is now for you that you are running within the environment and you haven't met your full requirement? How is it like for you to meet up with your report?
That's a huge challenge. That's a very huge challenge. But nevertheless, you take all constant factor. But I may feel that I was earning more. But on the other hand, I was at risk.
Your safety matters.
Yeah, my safety matters most. And one thing we should know that Liberia is not a banana republic, which there should be law and order. You see, I felt very, very well dissatisfied. I was so disheartened when government passed the regulation, and then we saw some of our brothers saying that they are going to protest. No, I mean, that action was not a welcoming idea. But nevertheless, we respect the rules, and we hope and pray for the best. Liberia to proceed to another level. Let people move from other countries. They come and say, oh, if you enter the city of Monrovia, there is a lot of regulations. Cyclists are not regulars. People are riding one on bike, each having a helmet, and then let our good news go to the outside world. That would be applauded too, as African country too. Before I take a leave of you, David, have you been to the Transport Ministry to do an inquiry on the registration process? Have you? Yeah. With the exception of going to the Transport Ministry, we have the word in our hand. Actually, for me, I've never been to the Transport Ministry, but I know the process, and I know the cost attached to it. But there are complaints coming in saying that those at the Transport Ministry, they are requesting for bribe in order to make the process very smooth. What do you have to say when it comes to those that are requesting for bribe before the process can be very smooth? Remember, we have over 5,000 motorcyclists running within central town. So if you will require a bribe from all of these guys, trust me, the process will be very slow, because everyone will not be waiting to pay the money. So what do you have to say to the guys at Transport Ministry that are requesting for bribe in order to make the process smooth? Yeah, like our president rightly said in his sona, that no business as usual. So what I expect from the Transport Ministry is to be proactive. There should be a team or security set up to detect the people who are taking in bribe, because when you look at the system, they are not proactive at the ministry, because we get a lot of people go there to complain. But for the bribing aspect, I cannot speak to that issue, because they will say alleged bribing. Alleged bribing. Well, I cannot speak to that issue because I haven't been there for somebody to collect money from me. But all the people can say, all of people say, oh, you go to the ministry, because the process for the license, driver license, is $45. That's the actual price, and that's the price will go on the receipt. And then if the motorbike registration, which is $25 United States dollar. But then insurance level based on the insurance company that you want to. Some people 80, some people 90, 135, and then so forth. But for the bribery issue, I cannot speak to it. But I want the Ministry of Transport to be proactive and also do a decentralization to decentralize the process, because you get a lot of people. Right now, you go to transport ministry place, very jam-packed, very jam-packed. Everybody wanting to get a process. And you as a family man, you cannot park your motorbike and then you go 2-3 days, you're running after one document which you can get. I mean, that's the forsaken part about the entire process. There is a parable, the people that says that you get a parable that says, if you tell the cat not to eat a fish, also tell the fish not to smell. But so my recommendation to national government is that if you look at our roads, for the Congo-Town Bar Road, there is a road leading you straight to the Jalatan under the plum tree. And that road leads from the Congo-Town Bar Road, get to the ministerial complex behind Zone 3, pass even Plain International, get on the old road, and that same road is connected to the Cheeseman Avenue through the road to town on the FE new road. I believe that government can, through the Ministry of Public Works, they can allocate fundings and then do that project as a feeder road. And then we can be prevented. Even you want to prevent, you even say that motorbike shouldn't plow the main road. I mean, I think we are going to about that. But that's my recommendation. I really want for the Ministry of Public Works to see in that direction. My recommendation should be strongly taken into consideration.
Do you think the decision made by Joseph Yuma Boaka by asking motorcyclists to leave the main street if they are not registered, do you think it was actually necessary?
Yeah, it was necessary.
It was necessary. But some of your colleagues still complain.
Yeah, we had to complain, but the reason that we had to complain because we won't paint you, but we had to do it.
What do you have to say to the government as it relates to the process, the regulation on motorcyclists in Liberia?
The judge had to give a few times. Yeah, out of the month. Because we had the money been too hard. We are running PV.
Yeah, your name? Chris is not an easy process here for you guys. I know the government has come up with high regulation as it relates to the no-go zone here in Liberia. Firstly, how this process is it for you guys here in Painesville?
It is very difficult for all in Painesville. That's bizarre. We are many when it comes to the motorcycle in Painesville. In numbers, we are many more, even the Tuala people. When it comes, if you look at the type of motorcycle in Relay, the many tomorrow, even if you watch TV this morning, they were doing some sharing of helmet and fares. The motorcycle was too much, and they can get everybody to register at the same time. At least the vice president took a good decision first to say we got like 3 months to ride the whole entire street and get ourselves prepared for the situation that will come in, which in case that we are well off. But unfortunately, that money when they say money when we gather to come go to town, which in case I will know I was supposed to start on the 15th, which was next month. We are aware that 90 days to ride around coming to start while on yellow machine spoke on up to go. Unfortunately, when we got that money, we made the gate, and then material that were many who were not aware that back was taken away from them, and then we went to do some of the projects. Some of us riding for people working pay. Some of us doing daily hire. Some people is their own bike. So for you to just conclude that everybody register as one, it will be like difficult because for 9 people they back as many. You get somebody doing working pay, but somebody paying like almost 1,300. The person has to look for 2,000 every day to keep it for the person. Look for gas money for themselves, look for food money for themselves.
And it's a pleasant welcome again. We are here in St. Court, somewhere right around the Vanoma, another checkpoint where the police are being set up with the regulation of a no-go zone policy here. And we are here with a group of motorcyclists. As you can see, they are all here waiting for passengers to take them through the Lakpasi, the Matadi, the road to town. But let's see if we can get someone here quickly to ask how the process looks. Good afternoon, bro.
Good afternoon, bro.
How you come here?
Well,
I mean, looking to see what happened.
yeah, but the way the country going, no understanding.
How the country going?
concerning the motorball issue now.
So, what about the motorball issues right first?
Yeah. The motorball issue concerning the volleyball doing it now. You can register motorball to get 2 M18 or safety camp for Yeah, you can get insurance, but even going to Rose, they can stay. Police can stay in Paris. You can be taking seaweed number. Some mistake. The parent will happen. They take a seaweed number when talking. Man, and say, oh, one number missing. It may come on transport ministry. So it's all the rest of your nana. So,
looking at the process, the government came very high on you guys, and they gave you guys a month, 3 months grace period to meet up with all of your registration. How is it like for you guys here in Cinco?
In doing that, the government kind of regulation on SKD, you get 3 months to process on 3 months time. Well, for concern all of a sudden, something go wrong. Yeah.
So what went wrong?
Yeah, it can't truck on the road like Wednesday. That Thomas couldn't take him back, carrying the other point. They're finding back here. A time we just say, oh yeah, they get all time, okay, all name. But Wednesday now we're surprising that they can't on the road, start taking people team, motor start losing. Other than the point, they're finding back here.
So the 3 month grace period wasn't utilized, right?
Yeah. So I looking so now, probably now. They go coming out once, they go coming out.
So talking about registration at Transport Ministry, how is it like at Transport Ministry?
Yeah, Transport Ministry, you can go there, I know a process, I know, you can go there, people, you want me here, in fact, I don't care about in fact, you are, director of fact, you are in talking about other.
For real?
Yeah, I look into the Transport Ministry, you go there, you pay some money, care money, you can't also talking about. Like looking.
There has been alleged, complaint from motorcycle that before you guys used to charge $50 from one point to another point, but $50 this thing that you guys are you guys have increased the price. How true is it?
No, our year about single about our permitting. We still want 50 pass because can you imagine passing a walk from all the way here? You can't do your part. They won't pay, they won't get you on say all the war so la favor again. I see money and go. We get meeting but not easy.
So if you were to violate to ply the main street, how much do you charge your customer to carry into town?
No, apart when I get my 2 ml will pay on me. A little bit trying down 300. 1%. When you get 2% more, you get 2 ml on you. And put him on you again, check on again.
So are you registered?
No, I'm registered, yeah.
So what exactly are you waiting for to register?
Friday, I'm going on my team.
On Friday?
Friday.
So you riding for yourself or you riding for someone?
I'm riding for my woman.
For who?
My mom.
For your mom? Okay.
It's very difficult to get a passenger. You can see we sitting here so now we can park, see the station I brought from the mirror, so we can walk and go. You going? Other people will be fair because the station I was again you want to talk. Yeah. They don't want to talk, so now if you don't get phone or you don't get smile on your face, that person you're not carry that person.
So the whole registration process now, Josiah, how the registration process looking at the Transport Ministry? Because general what to EW, a lot of guys saying the whole registration process, more especially for the insurance, they say the insurance not doing not doing well for them because when the motorbike men import, when they call the insurance people, they will say they must settle it, they will pay person money. But so how the whole registration been? How you looking at for your own?
The insurance people ready to insure, ready to because people can say we can be going to be looking at part-time. So yeah, so no insurance company none won't except for.
So we're going to look at Bataya?
I can look at Bataya.
So wait. Yeah. What exactly you be looking at the Bataya for?
Man, if you get on the order because it's pseudo to me.
It's pseudo?
Yeah.
I want to
say my town I ride motorbike. You say oh they are ride motorbike. I'll be careful yeah. That didn't mean to run two way. But when saying that we won't call bless you, what the spirit run on you, that happiness in you. Yeah.
So you can be looking at the Bataya?
We'll look at Bataya.
So what already can be looking at the Bataya for now?
We can look at the Bataya, just on the starting or the riding or just on our phone. So it's like you can put somewhere cool there, you look at the Bataya, you look at the feet.
Okay, so just to a very focused point, the government came up with a regulation. Yeah. In the regulation, you guys have to be fully registered. Firstly, are you registered?
No, for now, I do not by next week.
by next week. So now the government came up with regulation that you guys have to be registered, fully registered, get the insurance, get your lesson, get your helmet, and get your reflector jacket, and also your safety boot. What do you have to say on the decision made by the government?
So, you know, everybody want to see the country to the better place. But in number forcing it, they be even during other time we can register our motor, but they give us a full month. That 25 of register in 2022 to register our motor body. 25 for the play, they give us full month.
They give you 3 months.
Yeah, they give it, and it's not they give it, they put in checkpoint time. They never give us freedom. Parents always say, oh, we give you so time, your hustle, but certain more or so more, you will not be on the road. But they only discuss it straight, pass the law. They were just only now discussing, oh, yeah, they come in, they will tear off on the road, and the time they just take off on the road. I was just on our discussion, right away they come in, put the law.
So Josiah, what's your final message before I take a leave of you? What's your final message to the government?
Finally, they comment the registration, it can't have a chance with ministry, nothing in place, because if you go there, the book can be bluffing. He said, even hold your money from you. Yeah. To say nothing in order to say, oh yeah, I carry my money away, I hustle that I get my money. Even so now if you go there, you won't get fair. Say, other people can go there, you can get fair. You can say, I could have so time.
And so we are here with the supervisor of the Vamama checkpoint, T. Kesedi Wologo, and his colleague. We're going to get a few words from them as it relates to this process on ground. How is it like with the motorcyclists? Are they corresponding when it comes to the process as the government launched the no-go zone here in Liberia? So firstly, welcome to Heritage TV Liberia.
Thank you. It should be a pleasure that I should have the opportunity to talk with you.
Yeah.
You are hard working in relation to the public responsibility as it relates to our function as law enforcement officer. Of recent, we noticed on so many occasions that only few of the motorcyclists who are really incorrespondent, they are responding to the regulation, and then you found few who end up refusing to do that registration, waiting for somewhere around after the hour, they call it after the hour where you are not to arrest. But for me, I don't know whether we have any law in our constitution that after the hour, no one is allowed to arrest. But somewhere around 8 going to 9, 12, you will see those who never been even operating. They are coming and they're fading the street. And all of that, and we face it from the public, where sometimes people will say, oh, we need to go home and all of that, making us to focus only on the day operation.
But let me hold you there on the issues of the after the law hour arrest. What I'm actually aware of is that once it's 6 o'clock when the flag is down, there are certain arrests that cannot be done. But again, there are arrests that can be done after 6 o'clock. So I think they only understand one side of the law, and they are not understanding the other side of the law, looking at this process being launched by the government as a no-go. And you talk about few are actually corresponding with the process on ground. So those that are not corresponding, like earlier on when I arrived, I saw you in a little fight with few of the motorcyclists here that were not actually in fulfillment with the process. So those that are not fulfilling the process here, how is it like for you guys in putting it over to the government?
For little correction, when you say fight, that is not a fight. We are law enforcement officer.
And they were fighting, right?
Yeah.
So you were fighting.
So I went out to calm them down, and then for whatever reason, such occurs, we always have to calm them down because I know based on background, at times you find some of them confused with the belief that they don't have money for them to do that registration, and therefore they should be allowed to go to the town. So for that conflict, it can continue, but we don't get involved with them. We try to calm them down. But yet still, some of them, they are 75% correct. All right? So sometimes they will come trying to beg us in order for them to be around us.
But they are complaining that even if they get all of that process in tight, police at the checkpoint will still have a fault on them, talking about serious number. How factual is it here?
Oh, yeah. I know in most cases we have a serious number problem where probably some of them, they are not able to do the registration by themselves. they go to other people to be able to help them. Motorcyclists, most times they don't have patience, right? So based on the speedy operation that they will want from somebody who's trying to help them, they sometimes make mistake. So sometimes they will have to say it is transport, and sometimes we have to share blame of them. But our responsibility is to make sure that every transport should be able to do under the proper arrangement, the proper registration for them. But sometimes we allow them to go to do their proper registration. But because they do it with speed, and they are not there for people to be able to do correction, so we feel a whole lot of issue with them on their documents, especially the spelling of their names, so that we take into consideration, we ask them to go and properly do that.
Okay, so let me hold you there and bring on your colleague here. So good afternoon, welcome to Heritage TV Liberia.
Yes, sir, I want to also say thank you so ever much for your time of encouragement and interview. I am Joseph S. Sherman of the Liberia National Police.
So Mr. Sherman, you guys have actually been working in tight hands in order to meet up with the government no-go zone process here since it was being launched by the Boakar and Kun government in Liberia. So how has it been for you guys here at Vamoma with this tax being placed upon your head?
Actually, we have been going through some difficulties, but with those guys that have understood that the work is to be done according to the government, they are yielding to the process.
But many are complaining, saying that this is the only process, and they are saying that the government didn't give them much time in order to meet up with the registration process. What do you have to say on this time issue that they are complaining of?
Sir, this has been stated ever since unto them before this process could start, and some are actually violating. Yeah, for a long time they have been stated, but some believe that Liberia do not have a law. So that is why they are operating into this particular thing and saying that there is no much time. But much time has been given unto them.
So talking about those that are violating, what is the penalty for those that violate the law?
Okay, those that do violate the law, the penalty is that we do pack their bike and send them where to go and do their registration, because we are there to save life and property.
But some are saying those back that were arrested earlier on, many of their colleagues are getting their back here. So do you think arresting them and putting their bag aside, do you think that they will be waiting to work in line with you, with that free spirit to actually turn that key over?
Yes, some are waiting. Actually, some that know themselves from home, they are waiting and they do what the government asks them to do. And some that they are bike, they stay at the station, are those that are now waiting to register their bike, and they are not above our government law.
So those who are on waiting, what do you do to them here?
And we have their backward perm until they can come to register, sir.
Okay, let me hold you there a bit and get Mr. T. Kessedy final statement. Yeah, what go final statement. So, Mr. T. Kessedy, what are the regulations motorcyclists are to meet before they ply the main street?
Yeah, the regulations are. We have 2 V mirrors. We have the insurance. We have the driver's license, and then a helmet or more than one if you want to carry a passenger. These are requirements that we have them doing in order to have a safety traffic regulations. So my concern or message to the public, it has to do with we are all Liberians, and in whatever way we are falling short, we should be able to help one another, or we should not disregard the law of the country in order to have a nation to be developed. Our minds should be with the law, in compliance with the law, and not for somebody to say, I will wait for a certain time for me to do something, because at that nobody should arrest, or we should not have the kind of motive that to be able to go against the law or to violate the law only because of whatever reason that you try to have. So there should be no specific time of arrest about somebody is in a violation or commission of a crime. So I hope that we will be able to work together for the smooth relationship should flow while doing the regulation, their traffic, compliance, full compliance.
So well, folks, it was nice having you today on the program Heritage TV Liberia. And I'm Mohammed Nkemuka, your regular host. I do join me next time for another fascinating edition of the program, on the program with INSAH Liberia. Join me now, and together we live a happy life together.